How can you use your strengths to lead? In the 17th century, an early American settler and mapmaker decided it would be advantageous to connect the waters of the Delaware Bay and the Chesapeake Bay, both of which flow into the Atlantic Ocean. And so, what began as a small ditch became a small waterway, at first only big enough for a canoe to cross. It has now become a canal capable of transporting massive freighters across a peninsula that would otherwise take 300 miles, about 10 hours, and thousands of dollars in fuel to navigate. This is leadership strengths in action, across centuries. It is the visionary who recognized the merits of forging a new pathway. It is the engineers who designed massive mechanisms to manage the flow of water, and the engineers who designed the massive ships. It is the hands-on collective labor of skilled tradespeople who made the ideas a reality. This is just one example of leadership strengths in action. How are you using your strengths to lead? It is fairly certain to assume the 17th century visionary could not possibly imagine the magnitude of what would come of his idea, nor its economic impact. But he acted on his strengths in a way that forged a path. And as others added their strengths through the centuries, the vision grew. If you are thinking your bank of strengths is insignificant, consider this. It may be bigger than you imagine. How can you use your strengths to lead? Of course, you and I know they were always there, and others can see them, but because they are so innate, often people don't recognize them for what they are. Thus, it is important to learn your strengths. There are excellent tools for that here. Grow your strengths. You can spend your life trying to overcome your weaknesses, or you can focus on growing your strengths. While you should be aware of your weaknesses, focusing on growing your strengths will propel you forward faster. If you are good at something and invest time in growing that strength, you have the potential to become great at it. Why not go for great? Invest in becoming your best self, not in trying to become someone else. As you can see in this story, all strengths are needed. And those who bring their highly developed strengths to their work are what our friend Seth Godin would call a linchpin. Collectively, they create a legacy that can span generations. Sow your strengths while growing your strength serves you, and sowing your strength serves others. If being a visionary is one of your strengths, allow yourself time to think and ponder possibilities and to try new ideas. Don't beat yourself up for not being a skilled tradesperson or implementer. You do you, as they say. If hands-on work is your strength, put yourself in the types of work that allow you to express your gifts for craftsmanship. In fact, today there is a high demand for skilled tradespeople. If deep thinking and analysis are your strengths, you can apply those skills to engineering, design, science, and technology in a myriad of ways. If organization and systems are your strengths, you can lead by creating the processes that keep things flowing through a project and organization. Sowing your strengths in this way serves others, and there is no higher calling than to serve. Here are 3 action steps for you to consider. First, know your strengths. If you haven't already done so, take our Maxwell DISC assessment, which identifies your strengths. Next, grow your strengths. Now that you know your strengths, plan for how you can grow them. And keep in mind this may include taking a class, reading a book, or taking on a position that allows you to exercise those strengths on a daily basis. Finally, sow your strengths. How can you use your strengths to serve others? What needs do you see? And how can you serve those needs with your strengths? There are resources you will want to use to help you to maximize your strengths at StrengthLeader.com.